no free radio costs, as we know, right? So let's get on with this.
It's showtime, folks.
Wake up, Daddy's home.
Welcome, everybody, to the Dad's Home podcast. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Bauer. That's the sweet, nasty Chris Cause. And this podcast, this very podcast, for dads everywhere. Those who are going to be dads, who are new dads. And I'll even say this. Why rule out the occasional lesbian relationship, right, Cause? Because somebody in there's playing that role.
Absolutely not.
So welcome to the show. Thank you for letting us be a part of your day. Now, over the past few weeks, Cause, you've heard me bitch and whine about a couple of different things that have gone on in my life. Yet, I think yesterday, if I was looking for a particular definition of dad hell, I may have found it.
I got to tell you, that is a really strong opening statement.
Yeah, and this, by the way,
especially after you planned the birthday party for what would you say, 8, 10, 12
right.
8-year-old girls.
Yes.
You planned all that.
Mm-hmm.
You've had a 4-hour trip to the dentist.
4-hour dental exam.
You've locked your keys in a running car.
I totally forgot about that.
2 miles away from your house.
Yes. In the snow.
In the winter.
Yeah.
In the snow.
Yeah.
So for you to now, unless this is like, are we doing a clip show? Is that where we're gonna just?
It's the best of. Welcome to it.
All of a sudden we're doing a best of that
we're gonna
I'm aware of.
We're gonna have you guys. We're gonna have you guys vote at the Dad's Home Podcast Twitter page, at Dad's Home Podcast, to let us know which one truly is Dad's Hell, and then we'll name a winner here. No, this is actually, it's going to seem on the surface like it could be less hell, but I want to just. I don't know if I can possibly reinforce enough how much hell this is. Now, I'm relatively sure you're not going to have to deal with this. I'm relatively sure you're not going to have to deal with this, but I'll put this out there too, just in case. I never know. You never know. So I will say this as just an upfront. I think that Pandora has many good uses. I can, for instance. You know me, I can go create an entire station of my 80s glam metal that I love so dearly, that I hold so true to my heart. And then I can switch it up and go like on Saturday mornings for some reason if I'm feeling like a 90s alt, almost sort of pop rock, like Stacy's Mom or Breakfast at Tiffany's, like that kind of a song, like if I want to change that up, kind of, I can have that. Boom.
Flagpole sitta. Yeah,
absolutely. Right. I can just throw that together. Boom. It's on, ready to go. And my Saturday morning is made. Yesterday, I'm driving home in traffic from a job interview, and all I want to do is get home. And I'm realizing as I get home, my daughter has a play date with twins. So there's 2 girls here. They're about to go do swimming. They're eating lunch as soon as I walk through the door, and I realize that my wife has allowed them to pick whatever Pandora station they would like to pick to listen to eat their lunch and then go swimming with. And this is where hell begins, because while I can create an entire station based around the band Rat,
which, frankly, you can't get a job with a marketable skill like that.
Or an entire...
You aren't leading off your interview with radio stations with that line right there?
Or my entire I Love Warrant radio station, or my Sammy Hagar Red Rocker radio station. Any of those could... I didn't realize that there was an entire pre-made station, as my daughter found out yesterday, and her 8-year-old twin friends found out yesterday, for all of the Disney Television Network theme songs.
Oh!
And I don't mean Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. No. I mean...
Although that was probably thrown in there. You got a little... you lead it off there with Sophia the First?
I mean this shit. Like Casey Undercover, tweener, fucking, shoot me.
When danger comes for you, you know I'll stand beside you.
Shoot me in the head, Zendaya.
Some Ant Farm and some Jesse.
And Jesse, that's the other. Oh, Jesus Christ. This is pure unadulterated hell because it does. There's no break. Luckily, my wife pays a subscription to Pandora, so there's no commercials. There's no.
That's even better. So you did not get a break. You'd actually welcome the McDonald's.
Oh, I would have loved any stupid shit commercial they could have thrown in there for Geico. I would have taken it. No problemo. Done and done. Instead, I ended up with this all day long. The theme from Austin and Ally.
Once more, I bring on the thunder, 'cause you got my back and I'm not going.
Which, frankly, if I may, might actually be the best theme song I heard all day. If I had to pick one.
Every billboard headed for the top. We got it on lock.
And somewhere.
Did you Austin and Ally's?
What's that?
I thought Austin and Ally was done.
Oh God, no.
Although I will tell you, yet one more thing that will be just great for your cord cutting pile out on the pros.
Yeah.
You don't hear that as much. When you have all the other things to watch.
Oh, contraire, my
There's so
friend.
many other things to watch. It dilutes.
Oh, contraire. On Apple TV right now is an entire app for that fucking channel. And then on top of that, we're paying for the Sling TV with the cord cutting, which then has the ability to get all of those Disney channels. So Austin and Ally is still there, as is their cheesy surfer movies that they seem to put out pretty religiously. And
one girl on that is super duper hot though.
The lead, you're correct. You're 100%
the dark
correct.
hair and the blue eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Australian too, I believe. Oof. But that I imagine that there is that the place that you go to if you're putting together a Disney television show, when it comes time to sit down and write up a theme song, literally you have to walk down to Hades. You have to walk past the devil to a writer's room filled.
You go around Dick Cheney's office.
Right, you just pass that by a little bit. The room that's set aside for every banker on Wall Street, just waiting for them to make their way down. And you mosey right into the place that they write the theme songs for these horrible fucking shows. Because they sound, it's got the
problem with, I mean, not only, I do understand what you're talking about, because you have not only the initial, like you're actually hearing it and you're like, boy, that one's tough to hear. But then it sticks with you. Like each one of them has some kind of audio crack in it. And you can't, it won't
You can't
leave.
miss it. It's not there.
It doesn't go away.
It digs in. That earworm digs in, and the next thing you know, you're fucked. Because then you go, not only is this shit disturbing that I have to come home to this, but now that song's in my head, and I can't now. For some reason, I can't get that. I can't get that out of my head, and it's disturbing. It's so disturbing. And yet, that I believe that there is in hell the guy who is the one dude who writes all of these same shitty theme songs is probably also a meth head of some kind, or at least a crack dealer that somehow manages to lock that all in for us. I can't even.
But then at the same time, you'll have Bowling for Soup, which will be the Phineas and Ferb theme song.
True, and did that come up at all in the hour and a half yesterday that I had to fucking endure?
What were you feeding her for lunch?
Well, no, this carried on. It went from lunch, like I moseyed in as lunch was just beginning, to the girls talking, and then on the phone, and all of it was like, could you fucking get to the pool where there's no computer and I don't have to?
That's what I was gonna say. No, after about 25 minutes, you should have been like, time for the pool. Here we go. Out to the pool. Everybody out to the pool. Look,
I think a little easier.
Then I'll be somewhere else.
a little easier said than done, unfortunately. And then as they began to wrap up and then have a conversation about this, and then mosey into a conversation about that, you're like, oh, could you guys listen? If you want to go now, listen. And none of us wanted to go out in the heat that we had up here yesterday, but at the same time,
Hey, just say, it feels like a party.
It does it? Did it feel like a party yesterday as I was crying over my computer? It didn't feel like I'll tell you, cause it did not feel like a party.
I'll tell you, I don't want to hear you complain about heat.
Oh yes, I listen. You guys are in the bringer of the
Let's
heat.
talk about not a party every day. No.
We get your leftovers. It's the shit that's when it's too hot there, when it reaches maximum capacity on the glass ceiling in Florida, that's when it comes this way, and that's when it gets hot up here. I totally understand and appreciate that. Listen, I'll be bitching about the cold in plenty of time, so...
That's fine. And you know what? You own that.
Oh, yeah,
Fine. That's all for you.
Right, yeah.
But as far as heat goes, your heat is adorable.
Thank you. I appreciate it. My heat thanks you for that. Anyways, that's pure unadulterated hell. And if you, I would just make this suggestion before you let your son or daughter get access to the Pandora. Realize that hell, that shitstorm of a channel exists out there, and that should they click on it, guess what's not going to be so easy to turn off, especially in those long cold winters when the play dates come that direction.
Hey, Jesse.
Oh, good God! You know what? It's a really good thing that the girl who plays Jesse's really good looking, because otherwise, I would literally want to shoot myself.
And the thing is about it's Debbie something or other.
Ryan.
There it is.
It just popped up on the screen as I was playing the theme. So,
although you know where that's headed. I mean, this is probably the pinnacle right here.
Correct.
Debbie Ryan.
Correct.
Anyway.
Right. Yeah, she's not gonna. You don't see her being an Oscar winner someplace down the road. You don't.
Hey, look, it worked out for Anne Hathaway. Hilary Swank got to be famous from being the next Karate Kid and then 90210.
Right.
So
you never know.
You never know. She's a
know.
2-time Academy Award winner.
All we need is the people from Heroes to just go, you know who we need? Debbie Ryan, and then we're all fucked. And then it goes on, and then the next 3 seasons.
They're redoing Heroes.
Yeah,
right?
they've rebooted it. Yes, it's Heroes
redoing it all over again.
I think there's some of the same people in it. Frankly, yes.
Because it's.
I always say there's nothing like a good television series to take about a 5-year, 6-year break and then come back again for no reason. The Sopranos did it all the time.
Yeah, but that was good television.
Okay.
Heroes, the first season of Heroes, terrific.
Yeah.
Second season, it looked like they just wanted to wrap it up after one season and everybody has some champagne and we go, hey, look at that good TV we made.
Right.
And then they go, oh, no, the network wants you to come back and do another.
Yeah, one drunk producer's like, wouldn't it be great if we had a second season?
And then
woke
they
up and they're like,
decided that they would just rape the first 2 seasons and do the third season.
wasn't that season called Rape the Cheerleader? Was that the one that they...
Horrendous.
Yeah.
It was what it was.
Wow.
I bet like halfway through they were like, we can't even finish this. We're done.
Well, they should do then what True Blood did, and then just start randomly allowing people to write episodes for no reason. Just go ahead and write an episode. Who cares if it stays in line with the storyline and the plot line and the character line that we've developed? Fuck it, bring it on in. You got one? Let's do it. We're just gonna take online submissions. If you can give us a solid paragraph, we'll let you write an entire show. Have fun with that. Let's do that.
The next one it'll be written by Twitter followers, and we'll just have like one line of dialogue after another, and then that'll be a script.
And those.
But I just learned
as a Twitter follower, you're not allowed to write more than one line. So it's that stupid game in elementary school where every one person adds to the storyline.
Right, it's just one line, and we're gonna that'll be a new show.
Oh, great!
That'll be like, oh, that's the script. We have drunk history. It's not all that far to go from.
We'll be sending this off to Ashton Kutcher at the end of the episode.
I look forward to that. Do you know what I just learned here from the old man Shake My Fist files?
What's that?
There is a new app called Yik Yak.
Yik Yak.
Yeah. If you love Twitter,
yeah,
but you hate all that accountability, then Yik Yak is for you. Because it's anonymous Twitter.
Oh, so it's the same thing, only now you don't have to actually have a name that validates who you are, and apparently, I guess people could probably still follow you, yet never have any idea who you are.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I don't know how anybody gets famous from that.
Right.
But at the same, because after all, that's all that's about.
Right.
But yeah, no, and then you can yak to your friends. Yep.
Your friends will know who may or may not know. Listen,
if you tell them what your Yik Yak name is.
It's ironically what I would say 2 weeks ago, the fat Jew didn't want to have happen in his life. He didn't want a Yik Yak. He wanted to have all the celebrity that came with stealing comedians' tweets and retweeting them and putting them on Facebook and on Pinterest. And then now that he has felt the wrath of all of us online comedians, now that he's been dropped by the agency that was originally interested in him, CAA, and now that his Comedy Central pilot or whatever it was, his piece of production that he was going to be working on has been canceled because of the backlash, he's yik-yakking it up right now. He fucking wants yik-yak like nobody's business.
Yeah. From Yik Yak, the app.
Yes.
That would be
Interesting.
I'm trying boy, what are the features from Yik Yak? I'm trying to even like distill this.
Yeah.
Get a live feed of what people are saying around you.
Oh, okay.
So again, it's just talking, but nobody has to look at anybody's face or what their name is.
According to TechCrunch, they give the overview as Yik Yak acts like a local bulletin board for your area by showing you the most recent posts from other users around you. It allows anyone to connect and share information with others without having to know them. News, funny experiences, shout-outs, and jokes spread faster than ever through Yik Yak's tight-knit community. Create quality content and receive upvotes from other members of your community.
Yeah, or it's like taking a shit in a public restroom and reading the wall.
One of the two. Wow.
I mean, just because TechCrunch doesn't want to boil it down to what it really is.
Right.
A public bulletin board.
Well, they're using. I'm sure they're just tapping into the PR report that came from Yik Yak, and they're using that as the basis for it, rather than going, let's dig into this a little bit deeper, shall we?
Yeah. Get a live feed of what everyone's saying around you. That's what Yik Yak says of itself.
If I wanted that, I think I'd be hanging out at coffee shops in my area anyway. Like I would just go sit at Starbucks for an hour and a half.
So you just want me to be a rude prick and overhear other people's conversations?
Well, I know exactly. To be fair, anybody who's in a Starbucks for a solid hour and a half probably is typing on their phone at Yik Yak and not really saying anything to begin with. So you're not really overhearing anything. You'd have to be looking over their shoulder in order to see it. Wow.
So I just thought I would let you know that there's something just so much worse than Twitter out there.
Yay!
I remember when the first time I ever heard about Twitter was during Lewis Black's Root of All Evil.
Yes.
Do you remember that show where they would bring up a subject?
Yes.
And then they would have two lawyers as if...
Yeah, like Patton Oswalt would be one of them.
Yeah. Patton Oswalt was going versus Andy Daly.
Mm-hmm.
And I forget what the actual subject matter was, but Patton Oswalt brought up the idea that there is Twitter out there.
Yes.
So then you can tell everybody what you want, but you can only do it in 140 characters.
Right.
So the world is not going to end with a bang, but with a tweet. And I was like, there's a Twitter?
So
and that was like in 2008, 2009.
So what you're telling me is Yik Yak, if we're really looking for a definition here, is Twitter that athletes won't sign up for so that you can rail them about how shitty they performed on your fantasy football team this weekend, correct?
Or you could just randomly say, and then you'll know the person that protests the hardest.
Yeah.
Against whatever you just said.
Right.
About Adrian Peterson killing your fantasy team
right.
over the weekend.
Yeah.
That'll be Adrian Peterson.
Or what you believe could be Adrian Peterson's sister, but it'll be somebody in the AP family line of some kind that'll be taking care of that. Before we get into some news about freshman kids, and then we've got 3 songs we want to get to as well. I wonder if I meant to bring this up last week and I forgot, Kaz, but I wonder if you have this in you as somebody who is an actor, as somebody who's
I thought you were getting much more personal about things. Okay, all right.
You mean at the moment? Let me think about what's in me at the moment. I'll give you 3 guesses.
I just want an inventory, and then we're gonna play 3 songs.
What's in Kaz? Let's all guess. Send us your guesses on Yik Yak. So I realized I had never known this before. This was a self-reflective moment for me.
Ooh.
Where I realized that, shockingly to myself, and it will probably be shocking to you as well, I noticed the bright, shining green light within me that is a movie kryptonite for me.
Oh,
meaning, no matter, and I know automatically where you're going to go with this, and it's the first place, if I brought it up to my wife, she would say the same thing, but I said it is a go-to solid. If this person has a movie out, I don't care what the fucking movie is, I'm going to watch it and I'll probably like it. Now, I say this based upon the movie that I watched last weekend, but I found a kryptonite for me that I will now begin to search out his movies as an actor. I will search out his movies.
Okay.
And this is with the exception of the one that's currently in theaters right now. So I think that rules out maybe who you're thinking of. With the exception of the one that's currently in theaters right now that I haven't seen, but I will see it when it does come out on demand or to Netflix or whatever the case may be there. But I saw a movie over the weekend that I believe was pretty low rated on Rotten Tomatoes.
Probably.
I opted to sit down and watch it. We'd seen it was a part 2, so the first one, there was enough questions
Sure.
that
So
led
many
me to part 2.
questions.
But I realized that I have it's not a crush, it's not a man crush, it's nothing like that. So Jason Statham,
I was gonna say, so it's not Jason Statham.
out of the question. Not even Jason Statham. That's the man crush. I don't care what it is that he does. If there's karate and car chase scenes, which there probably will be, except for the Gnome movie he did the voiceover in, then I'll watch it. I want to see the movie that he's in. And I wonder, do you have somebody like that in yours? Is there an actor or an actress or even a director that no matter what you want to see? Because for me, if I may, my new movie kryptonite is Jason Bateman.
Really?
Out of left field. You weren't expecting that, right?
Interesting. So this is about The Gift.
When I saw Horrible Bosses 2,
Horrible Bosses 2 is still pretty funny.
it was good.
It is. It's funny.
It's good, and Jason Bateman's good, and I feel like all of a sudden, as soon as I'm watching it and I'm kind of laughing, and anytime you want to bring up a Charlie Day impersonation, feel free. I start saying to myself, God, I really love his movies. There's something about, like, I saw the Spelling Bee movie that he did, which was fantastic.
That was excellent.
He's
such really good
movie.
in that.
Such an asshole in that one. I love it when he plays an asshole role.
He's
really
really
do.
good in that. You're right. That's a total. And I can't remember the name of the movie.
I'm trying to bring up Jason Bateman on IMDb right now. And I've had the opportunity to interview him a few different times, but I've never thought of myself as like a real fan, so to speak. And I haven't.
At first, you think the first time you saw this kid, it was back when he was the lead. He was the oldest son on Valerie Harper's show.
Yes, Valerie. Mm-hmm.
And then Valerie left, and so then it became the Hogan family. Mm-hmm. It didn't last forever.
And I don't remember who the guy was that played the husband or the dad in that. He had such a small bit role, and the next thing you know, he's the fucking dad of the Hogan family.
And all right, because he's your age. He's 69, right?
Yes, exactly. That's correct.
So there you go. And then
bad words.
I will tell you.
Bad words.
I will tell you a couple of movies to completely avoid.
Okay. Now, here, if I may, I saw Horrible Bosses 2, which he calls a piece of shit, but it was fun. I loved it.
Thing is, the first one, really funny.
Really funny.
The second one, if you like the first one, you're gonna like the second one.
Agreed.
It's a lot of the same stuff, and and you bring people in and out. I think it's very fun.
I agree with you.
Okay.
This is where I leave you. I actually saw as well. Now, this is more kind of
funny.
the draw. Yeah, but still really good, right? I mean, in addition to the entire cast, which I thought was fantastic, and this Tina Fey, Jane Fonda was really good in it. Like, there wasn't a moment that I didn't like this movie. I think to myself, okay, when's the moment going to come? When am I going to not like this movie? And it never happened. So
it was a hair long for me.
I can see that.
A whole bunch of people that you're like, oh, you're the guy, you're the senator from House of Cards.
Yes.
Oh, you're the weird semi-boyfriend on Girls.
On Girls,
okay?
right.
You're, and you kept doing all of that, so it ended up being this great little collection of new and established.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it, and it again, very funny. It's not Anchorman.
Right.
It's not Horrible Bosses. It's not,
right.
But it's situational.
Absolutely. I saw, and again, I'll go back to it because it was on TV over the weekend, and I found myself watching part of it again for a movie that I didn't think was particularly that good. You and I know somebody that's in the very beginning of the movie, but Identity Thief that he did.
Yes.
And the guy that we worked with at EA, Carlos, was at the very beginning of the movie. He's the guy who plays the gas station attendant behind the bulletproof glass.
I did not see that. Jeanette saw that. Because again, I would like Melissa McCarthy to do something different.
I'm with you. There's been quite a run of what seems like the exact same character.
And every time she goes on Saturday Night Live, it feels like it's the exact same character for an hour and a half. It's like,
and I saw
shades of that gray.
Something the other day. She's the third highest paid female.
I wouldn't doubt it.
In Hollywood right now.
I wouldn't doubt it at all. And she has a clothing line that just came out.
Okay. All right.
For what that's worth.
I feel like I can go back.
I mean, the tipping point, I think, to get him back in, because he's doing nothing.
Yeah.
He's out doing it was Arrested Development.
Yes.
It's Arrested Development that came back because when you go back and you're looking at all these other things, like he's trying to break back in with all these like TV series that aren't going anywhere.
Mhm.
Chicago Suns, Ned and Stacy, George and Leo.
Mhm.
I mean, it's all those things, and you're like, boy, it's just not happening, Jason, is it?
Yeah.
And then Arrested Development came back and got him back in. Although at almost about the same time, Dodgeball.
Yes. Yes.
Dodgeball coming back and getting in.
Yes.
So I will tell you, do not, under any circumstances, see two movies.
Okay.
The X,
All right.
okay? That was a direct to Blockbuster video
Oh.
because it was so bad. I believe it was Amanda Peet and Zach Braff.
Yeah, I'm looking at the
Definitely
cover of
Zach
it right
Braff.
here. Yeah, Zach Braff, Amanda Peet, Jason
And it is
Bateman.
Amanda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Charles Grodin and Mia Farrow. Holy shit.
20 minutes. Out.
Well, and listen,
You know what? I might not have even made it to 20 minutes.
You would think that you'd be intrigued a little bit by Amy Poehler or Fred Armisen in there on some level, but
I never saw them. I don't know.
oh dear God.
I'm
Wow.
telling you, it's about somebody is handicapped or is faking it and works in an office, and it's a love triangle with Amanda Peet, and nope,
No.
out,
No.
awful.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay, there's a reason why when those movies are a Blockbuster exclusive,
Yeah.
a lot of times when it's a Redbox exclusive,
Yeah.
it's because it sat on a shelf because some producer went, that is like hydrochloric acid on the shelf. That's so bad. You know
So
what we'll
bad.
do? We'll just sneak it out when one of them has a hit movie.
Yeah.
And then people like you go, oh, you know what? I'll see anything with Jason Bateman
Right,
in it. And
right,
then they
right,
write
right.
that and they go, oh, that's right. That's
Oh,
shitty.
that's horrible.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
And then the other thing, that's it. Extract.
Oh, ooh, Extract. Oh God. Was that
Extract
Mike Judge?
It's a Mike Judge movie.
Okay.
And it's got Mila Kunis and it's got Ben Affleck and it's got Kristen
I
Wiig,
remember
and
when that trailer first came out, and I thought to myself, well, that looks like it'd be a really good movie. And I didn't see it, never went after it to look for it, but I remember thinking it looked like it would be a good movie.
It's not.
Oh,
It's
and it's got Mila Kunis in it. Oh.
I'll tell you right now, I love Idiocracy.
Yes.
I love Office Space.
Yes.
I think Idiocracy might be one of the most underrated movies in the history of movies.
Agreed. And for the record, as much as Office, and I feel like it doesn't happen all the time, but Office Space gets replayed on Comedy Central all the time. I feel like you can.
There's a reason.
And it's amazing. I love watching it every single time. I can't get enough of that movie. But I feel like they don't do that with Idiocracy yet. If I can find it someplace, I will go out of my way to watch that movie again.
Yes. Idiocracy, again, if you have not seen Idiocracy, just pause this podcast right now.
Yes.
Go for Idiocracy and go watch it.
Yes.
It's prophetic for our times right now.
Who
Every single day
knew?
I'll look at some other example to be like, how did Mike Judge know? Like, years ago.
Totally.
This is exactly, we are stampeding towards ass.
100%. 100%.
Extract, unfortunately, it's a movie. It's so bad that you don't care.
Oh my God.
It's like when I was watching it, I was folding clothes, and and after about like 45 minutes, I was like, I finish it, but I don't care. So I ended up like walking around the house, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing that. It was on.
Right.
I finished it,
Right.
but it's just not very good.
You've got Ben Affleck and J.K. Simmons in there. Kristen Wiig, Mila Kunis, Gene Simmons is in it. David Koechner's in it. You go, how does it possibly get that bad?
It's just not very good.
Wow.
I think it ended up having. It's weird because it has too many people, and I think that there wasn't enough direction to be like, no, this is the focus.
Right.
This needs to be happening right now instead of just a little of this and some of that and the other thing and the. Meh. And so you ultimately just end up going, whatever.
Well, those are two that I certainly am not going to go out of my way to look at, but I felt like I was in this place.
But the invention of lying,
Yeah.
go out and see that.
Yes.
That's Ricky Gervais
Yes.
and Jennifer Garner.
Was
And
amazing.
Jennifer Garner will definitely appreciate you watching that movie.
Especially now.
Couples Retreat, if you have not seen that, that is also humorous.
Yes.
He's there. It's Kristen Bell and
Mhm.
Vince Vaughn
Mhm.
and the other chick from The Watchmen who's hot, Malin Ackerman,
Yeah.
and it's that very funny.
Yes.
The Switch I didn't see.
I feel like I did see that one.
It's the one with Jennifer Aniston and the
Yes,
20
I
years
did.
Later, the specimen.
The
gets
specimen. Yeah,
switched.
I do remember seeing that one, and I liked that one as well. I didn't think it was particularly good. I mean, there wasn't. I didn't feel like it was great by any means, but I thought like that's another good for me, another good Jason Bateman performance. I felt it was solid, and I think that for me again, despite the Jennifer Aniston part in there, that carried the movie for me. Another that was funny enough. He had enough good lines. He played enough of an asshole that I was interested in it.
Bad Words is the
Yes,
spelling
that was so good.
we were talking about.
God
yes.
damn it, that was so good.
And Paul is also humorous and underrated, and that's another that's a Simon Pegg
Yes.
movie. Same guy who did Hot Fuzz.
Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead, which is one of my
Shaun of the
favorites
Dead,
as well. So anyways, I don't know if you've got anything like that, but it was a realization that I came to that Juno, he was great in as well, where he had more of a straight role in Juno, but was fantastic in it.
That's because that's what he does. He's a straight man.
But he can play
And
the
while
asshole
other people-
well enough.
While other people are kind of going in there and doing, saying some funny things around him, and, he's got to be the one that kind of locks it down.
I wonder if that strains Charlie Day, because I'm watching at the end of Horrible Bosses 2. During the credits, they do the outtakes.
Yes.
I thought
Maybe
for a
that's
moment
because you're a terrible actor.
I thought for a minute that there was a moment where they had the camera on Charlie Day and he kind of flubs one of the lines or nobody laughs at it. Then he comes up with another one and they got the same camera shot. And I just thought he hasn't gone into the Charlie Day voice yet. So as soon as he's found the right punchline when he goes into the Charlie Day voice. And I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that to kick in, and unfortunately, it didn't happen. But Kevin Spacey, just in the couple of scenes he had in that movie in part 2 alone, where he's just cursing at them through the jail, it was fucking amazing. It was so good.
I think it's funny. I understand that he's saying that. Okay, well, it's not going to win any awards,
right?
But I don't know.
Yeah. And listen, I can't get enough of Motherfucker Jackson, so that's
Motherfucker Jones.
Motherfucker Jones. I can't get enough of Motherfucker
Mr.
Jones.
Jones is my father. Call me motherfucker.
Anyway,
He buys pink berries. With the
that's
money.
totally.
I think that's funny. It is. It's funny.
I do too. It makes me laugh. I laughed heartily at that movie. And then where the other two guys
over a barrel and show her the 50 states.
the other two dummies are like, no, let's listen to what Motherfucker has to say. And then Jason
That's
Bateman's
a
like, no,
really good
we're
idea.
not going to do that. I'm not going to give him my watch. No. And it's fucking, I just love that interaction. That
You
was
are
great.
terrible at negotiating.
You are. You should really rethink this. All right. Anyways, I found my kryptonite, and I
I'm
just
trying
wanted
to
to
think.
admit to it.
I'm trying to think during this conversation if I have somebody that's. I mean, I will tell you, Ian McShane, who is now on this season of Ray Donovan.
Yes.
When he was on Deadwood, he made me want to be an actor a year longer than I was planning on it.
That's
I was
awesome.
going to quit, and I watched him, and I was like, boy, he is so good. It made me want to be a better actor, which is weird because when I watched Daniel Day-Lewis in Lincoln, I wanted to stop acting immediately because if you can't do that, it's like, well, what's the fucking point?
Right. What's the point? Why?
It's
why?
weird. That,
Yeah.
I have different respect for different performances, I guess.
Yeah.
Although Ian McShane, he looks both like he's sleepwalking through this season of Ray Donovan because they're giving him so little to do.
Right.
But at the same time, he's still so good at sleepwalking.
But I agree with you on that. Like he makes it look so flawless, and he makes it look like to me like a guy who, I mean, he plays the I could give a shit movie producer, but is also quite an alcoholic at the same time kind of vibe, whose family's a shitbag, and he kind of just like he plays that well. But then he had, I felt, was his breakout moment in the last week's episode where he's just screaming and yelling at the post-election party thing that I thought, now that's what I want to see more of. I want to see the part where you can kind of be intimidated by this guy.
Give me that Al Swearingen. That's what I'm signing up for.
That's what I'm talking about.
Although at the same time, he's hilarious when he just looks at the governor and is going to tell him, well, is this taking longer than I expected?
That's a perfect example. All of those little subtleties of the drunken, I can't take this shit anymore movie producer that he plays without you really noticing. Did he just say that? That's great. That's fucking amazing. That's exactly what I love about him. He plays the subtlety part very well in this, yet can play the over-aggressive, I'm gonna intimidate the shit out of Ray Donovan, although nobody seems to be able to, for at least a couple of seconds here. He's going to be intimidated by him.
He sure is.
It's good stuff. There was a report out, and I love these reports that come together with what the class of 2019 has experienced in their life, and more importantly, what they have not experienced in their life. I was at an interview yesterday, and the guy, it's a sort of an off branch of the radio business, and but yet everybody who was employed there had worked in radio at one point in time. It was like I was walking into a radio station. In essence, the office is dimly lit with the records on the wall and the whole thing, just like every other fucking radio station office I've ever worked in, and he was talking about how he was constantly interested in the technology within the business that was coming up at the time when he started working for this company, and where that technology has taken us thus far, and how there's, in certain elements, a lack of technology. How we had in radio, we had these things called carts, which were, in essence, 8-track tapes. Yep. And 8-track tapes, the only way you could clear if you recorded something onto that, and that's where your commercials were, some of your songs, they had longer versions of it, 3-minute versions, 5-minute versions. The only way you could clear anything off of there was with a magnet bulk eraser that looked like you could hold it in your hand, and if you you could punch through a fucking wall with this bulk eraser. It had to be plugged in. It would go over the top of the cart, that magnet would bulk erase the tape that was on there, and now you had a clear cart that you could work with. Just the technology has changed in so many years since that.
Well, you were probably in either like Pensacola or Panama City or San Bernardino. That was my college radio station, I think.
Yes, there you go. So, and I believe someplace in my attic, I actually still have a cart rack and a few carts.
And you've moved it like 16 times.
Oh my God. I have a giant, if I could get up and reach, I've got a giant bag filled with cassettes, just cassettes. That are, and I've even got, I'll just to throw out how far technology has come, I've got mini discs from radio shows that I've done. That,
what is a mini disc?
Hold on, let me show you here, Cos. So first of all, while I'm not grabbing the entire bag, I will show you that I have this cassette, which I don't know if I highlight up, this is a cassette of a Bauer air check from 11/5/99.
Air check.
Bauer
it is. That's 89. Oh, Bauer.
Yeah, the one you see is from June 8th, 99. Is 99 from this TDK 90-minute cassette. Now, in this one here, this was from okay, so this was from July 23rd, 99, where on this show, just because I've got little notes, as you can see here, this one was a Turdware interview. So there was obviously a company called Turdware that I spoke to at some time.
How's Turdware doing?
Fresno.
What's their stock price now?
Fresno prostitution phone line bit. I don't know what I did on that, but I had a bit that was a Fresno prostitution phone line. And then I don't know which it doesn't get. I think this is maybe Jamie. 99 was Jamie Kennedy big in 99? Comedian / actor
Probably.
Jamie.
Yeah, that would have been just after Scream.
Because I've got Kennedy interview, and I don't think it was John F. This was 99, so I don't even think it was John. And then I've got weirdest bowel control stories. That's all in one show, Cos. I know you're saying you're safe. How could you have so much entertainment in one show, Bauer? I managed on that day, July 23rd.
When did you have a 5-hour show?
1999. And that was over a 4-hour time. But then once cassettes got old, Cos, we had mini discs that look like you would put this into your, and this is even now. Let me get older tech. This would be put into your PSP. PlayStation video game, but it's a little bit bigger than that. It's not quite a floppy disk that you would put into your computer.
Okay.
And yet you could hold, 74 minutes worth of material of audio on here. And I had numerous ones. There I goes. I drop it on the ground. I had numerous ones for shows. So the technology, I don't have, if I wanted to right now, play you, I wish I had a cassette player in my house that I could pop into the computer, put this on, we can play and listen to it and have fun making fun of the shit that I did in 1999. But I don't own a cassette player. I don't have a cassette player in this house.
A couple of years ago, when we signed my son up for VPK,
mm-hmm.
and it came from since it is a state program.
Yes.
The state, whatever venue, they will give you an intro box.
Okay.
Like it's literally a cardboard box that has all the intro that you would need as
Right.
he starts VPK, including the cassette tape that you can listen to that will tell you more about all of the lessons that will go on
So
as part of the curriculum for
Just
VPK.
so I'm clear, how long ago was this they sent this to you?
4 years ago.
For the record,
I took a
cassettes
picture of it.
were outdated, well outdated 4 years ago.
I took a picture of it and put it on Facebook and said, "Can anybody help me play this?" And it ended up the only person who could help me play that was my mother-in-law, who is a media specialist at an elementary school.
Oh, my.
Sorry, at a high school. A media specialist at a high school, who just had like an old Walkman.
Oh, nice.
And so I'm almost positive that is.
She shipped the Walkman. Nice. Dude, that's money. I love it.
So here is the Walkman. I happen to have it right by my desk, so I was able to grab that.
Wow. Look at
Walk-
that. I just
Right.
heard a
It's got a radio part that's right up in here in the top,
Mhm.
and yes, indeed,
Look
a
at that.
cassette.
Look at that. Look at that. Now, is that the cassette that they actually sent to you, or is that a completely different one? Like, is that,
It is a completely different one. I had never seen this before. This was apparently an audio recording of Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire,
Oh, okay. I was gonna say,
which was produced in 2000 by Random House.
wow.
So even by 2000, they were still making cassettes.
I was still hoping it was Night Ranger, You Can Still Rock in America, someplace on that cassette.
I can't believe you named a second Night Rangers.
Oh, God, yes, please.
When they come,
you,
when they come,
I'll
and they
give you
play,
10. You give me one, I'll give you 10. That's how it works here.
when they come and play the
County Fair?
Epcot Food and Wine Festival.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure they open with Sister Christian, close with Sister Christian, and play it 3 times.
Well, yeah, you still got You Can Still Rock in America. There's Don't Tell Me You Love Me, which is another one of their big hits.
Tell Me You Love Me, I
Sing
guess
Me
that is.
Away. There was also Rumors in the Air, which were great ones. Then they had Goodbye, which was sort of the next album after they were told they had to make another exact duplicate song of Sister Christian. Otherwise, their label was going to drop them. They came up with Goodbye, which was a shittier version, but kind of the same type of thing as you could. So there's a good solid 5 for you there that they would be having some form of rotation. 4 in the morning was another good one. Yeah.
Here's
look
my
at that.
digital camera.
Wow.
Now, this digital camera, not that old. It's 8 years old.
Right.
8 years old. My iPhone 4S,
Yes.
which is 3.5 years old,
Yeah.
has more megapixel capability. than
Yes.
this camera
Takes better
right
pictures than that thing does.
And this is my Flip.
Oh, I have one of those as well.
The Flip.
Both
which
of those
is
are in a
probably
drawer.
right around the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is all on the heels, by the way, as you bring this up, and we'll get to the freshman stuff in just a second. I was watching yesterday when the kids went out to go swimming. I needed to have some sort of laughter in my life.
Sure.
I think I chose poorly in the one that I went with, but I went to watch Gary Goldman on Netflix do some stand-up comedy, but he had a fantastic bit, an absolutely fantastic bit about Discman.
Exercising today.
Let's see. Hold on one second. Let's turn this up.
Next to me, listening to a Discman. Today. This happened today. I didn't recognize it initially. They're much bigger than you remember. Much bigger. I thought he was listening to a pizza. Huge. And then, don't get me wrong, I had a Discman. This is how long ago I got my Discman. I paid $188 for my Discman. $188. I could go over to Rite Aid right now with $188 and bring back a Discman for everyone in this room. In fact, if you'll go ahead and reach under your seats. For $188, though, it came loaded. All the best features. All the bass boost, you betcha. You bet it had
Remember that?
bass boost. If at any time you thought to yourself, is that all the bass?
No.
Boost. Oh, false alarm, everyone. Plenty more bass where that bass came from. Had anti-shock, indispensable. Get the anti-shock, because if you were strong enough to jog while carrying this manhole cover, this Olympic discus, then the disc would not skip for the minute the batteries lasted while in anti-shock mode. It was pivotal. The sweetest feature on the Discman, though, the must-get, beg, borrow, and steal, my friends, but get the shuffle. Get the shuffle. You do not know what in the Sam Hill is coming up next when you hit shuffle on a disc. Every time a song ends, cliffhanger, Oh, which one of these songs is going to pop up next? Which one of these 10 songs? If it's Rocket Man again, I will lose my mind. And it's Rocket Man! Oh my Lord, what are the chances? What are the chances? 10%. 10%. I shouldn't make...
See, that's the technology.
You know, I made a Microsoft Zune joke the other day. Speaking of things,
Did you? Did you really? And that's only a couple years old, by the way. Let's not.
a Zune?
Yeah.
How old is that's? Got to be at least 10 years
Oh
old.
God, no, really? I feel like it's.
Yes.
Oh, hold on. Now I'm gonna have to.
Oh, hold on. All right, we'll go through that too.
Oh, let's see. Microsoft Zune. Okay, there's a whole bunch of
Wikipedia
great
Zune.
pictures of old Zunes.
They were discontinued in October 2011.
All right. So they discontinued them 4 years ago.
Retail availability was 2008.
Wow.
No, retail. The first one release date was 2006.
2006. So 10 years ago. You're right, cause 9 years ago is when it was released. Holy shit. I feel like it really didn't. I felt like it was around 2009, 2010 that I really started hearing about it and realized, oh shit, how do we get our podcasts on a Zune? How do we manage to do that? All right, well, good. I'm glad that's now that we've got that. Here's a couple of other things. The freshman class, the class of 2019, some factoids about the class of 2019 to make us feel really old. They've never licked a postage stamp.
Yeah, right.
They've been able to peel.
They're
How come, and then here's the question I've got. How come Hallmark hasn't jumped on that technology yet? How come it is that if you go buy a card at Hallmark, a greeting card, a Valentine's Day card, a birthday card, you still have to lick a fucking envelope? If we can have envelopes that I can buy in bulk, I could buy like 8,000 of them for 50 cents at Costco, how is it that they can't get envelopes to work like that the way our stamps work right now? You still have to lick that glue.
Look, Bauer, it's all about cost, all right? And Hallmark just cannot produce a peel and press envelope
Apparently.
for the $6 that you would spend on a
Apparently.
GD greeting card.
Right. The ones that have the plastic coating because they've got raised shit on the front of it.
Exactly.
It's like
And then they recommend that you don't leave the plastic coating on when you send it. They're like, "Oh, thanks for the tip."
appreciate that. I don't want to look like a loser with your giant $7 card I just put together. They have grown up. This is again the freshman class of 2019. They've grown up treating Wi-Fi as an entitlement. They've only kind of.
Although I'm not gonna lie to you, I've started to feel that way too. When you're at some place and it like one of the places that I work doesn't have Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And it's such a pain in the ass.
My 8-year-old daughter was complaining yesterday because we went out to pizza last night and she wanted to play, I don't know, Candy Crush or whatever the fuck it was on her iPhone. She couldn't play. She was like, this place doesn't have Wi-Fi. 8 years old. This place doesn't have Wi-Fi. Like, it has pizza and it's got ravioli and your fucking chicken and fries, but Wi-Fi? No Wi-Fi. I can't. Why are we eating here? This is like this. Why we should just be eating in a cave, burning legs of turkey over an open fire. What the fuck is this, Dad? Where did you take me?
I love ravioli.
What are we in? Is this ISIS? Are we hiding in the mountains in Afghanistan right now? What the fuck? The announcement of someone being the first woman to hold a position has only impressed their parents.
I don't know. The first 2 women to graduate from Army Ranger School.
That was impressive as fuck.
Seems like it's really
Holy
impressive.
shit. The Lion King has always been on Broadway.
How about that?
Wow.
Yeah, but then to us, like Cats has always been on Broadway.
If you ask me right
Maybe
now,
not
is Cats on
always,
Broadway? I'd say yes. Cats has to be on Broadway because it's always been on Broadway. It's never not been on Broadway, right? It's got to still be there someplace.
I thought it. Well, I think it did close at some point, but
Yeah.
it just feels like it's always been there. Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, all right. The Lion King has always been on Broadway. Yeah, you buy that because
For the freshman class cause,
freshman class they would be.
TV has always been in high definition so that they could see the pores and actors of the grimaces of quarterbacks.
Well,
They've only had high def.
That's not true.
For the freshman
They
class?
haven't only had freshman class of high school.
No, this is for the I believe of college. We're talking about for college.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're talking for 18 years.
Is that right?
We may have had high definition technology.
But let's
when
be
did you
fair.
get high definition
From
television?
probably from ages 1 to 4, they couldn't really give a fuck about whether there was high def or not for Kermit the Frog, right? Like they weren't like, wait, is that? I see that's a puppet, dude. What have you been telling me? Oh, I thought that was a frog.
As soon as they did a new open for Dora,
Mm.
that's how Zach has known.
That's
oh,
it.
look, this one's in high definition, and now he's been able to tell that they're new high def. My wife will still go, I can't tell the difference. That'll be when she rents a movie that's a DVD and not a Blu-ray. I'm
Right,
like,
right,
You're
right.
killing me. Why do you? I thought you loved me.
The proud parents of incoming freshmen recorded their first steps on cam corners mounted on their shoulders like bazookas. Remember when we didn't have selfie sticks? Which, by the way, you should be arrested if you bring a selfie stick into Times Square. I will fucking arrest you. I will shoot you in your kneecap. If
You should be able. Somebody should take it and beat you with it.
you should be beaten and then raped with it, because it is the most deplorable. If you thought just fucking retarded tourists in Times Square were sufficient enough to raise your blood pressure to an exploding level, just wait till you see them slowly crossing the street when they don't have the cross sign, blocking traffic because they want to get all 16 people in their fucking selfie stick in their video that they're taking to post to their website. It is such huge volumes of bullshit. I will say this.
I will tell you, Disney has banned
Good.
sticks from all properties.
Good. I think we should.
Signs everywhere.
If I had it my way, cause Hell's Angels would be monitoring and patrolling Times Square, and if they saw you with the fucking selfie stick, we wouldn't see you again in Times Square. That would be it. Period. You'd go
Universal has not made that move.
Yeah.
I think some of that is that it was cutting down on their PhotoPass money at Disney.
Yeah. You know what?
For all the photographers that are out there trying to get you to buy the pictures for that if you have a selfie stick, you're cutting in on the profit margin.
I will say this: that the sheer volume of costumed creatures down at Times Square has evolved. It was like they literally fuck like bunnies. They're just all of a sudden you'll see like 15 Elmos, and ranging from wow, that must be a brand new costume he just stole off a truck someplace, to holy shit, where did that by far that Elmo has some form of hepatitis. It has to. Just look at that thing. It's the most beastly looking. It stinks from here. But the thing that I am
Is that
okay
B or
with
C?
both. The thing that I'm okay with is, and I saw this for the very first time a couple weeks ago when we took my wife into the city for her birthday, was the young ladies with body paint for tops only.
Oh,
They're walking around.
it is hot out.
It is. They're walking around looking a little bit like Vegas showgirls, kind of, but literally on the streets of Times Square, with like little shorts, feathered kind of dress skirts, the headdress thing, and then no top, just body paint. And if you're in Times Square and you're just you're walking anyways, and generally you're not really looking at anybody, you're just kind of seeing visions out of the corner of your eyes. It looks like there's a fucking showgirl walking past you, and you go, wait a minute, there's none of these
Or a
shows,
peacock,
right?
one or the
there's neither peacocks nor these shows that take place in Times Square. So that's odd. And then you turn and look and realize she's not wearing anything on top. She's completely nude from the waist up, just with body paint on. And I'm okay with that. That part I don't have a problem with.
Thanks, Obama.
Thank you so much, Obama. All right, a couple of other things here real quickly to just make you feel sort of old. Therapeutic use of marijuana has always been legal in a growing number of American states to them.
Yeah, all right.
I don't have a problem with that.
Possibility, yeah.
They have avidly joined Harry Potter, Ron, and Hermione as they built their reading skills through all 7 volumes.
That's probably how they learn to read.
Agreed.
I mean, in a lot of ways, like reading comprehension and skills, and that the interest was there, and that's what fueled that. They're going to look back and say, what are some of the books, Mommy? What are some of the books that you read when you were a kid? And that's it.
Absolutely. And
it's not going to be Huckleberry Finn. It's not going to be Tom Sawyer.
No.
Around the world in 80 days. Nope.
Or in my case, it's not going to be Mad Magazine. Sorry. Wanted to be real. And lastly,
no. Yeah, keep it 100.
Incoming college freshmen. Google has always been there. In its founding words, quote, to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible. They've always had Google. So that makes me wonder, like, if I dropped a kid into a library here nowadays and said, go find information on the War of 1812, and they ran over to the computer because I know that's the first place that they go, and the computer doesn't work, it won't turn on, the power's out, whatever it is, could they find information in that library about the War of 1812 without the use of Google? Would they know? Well, I'm saying the computer's off. You can't even use a computer. Fuck that. You can't even text your friend. Like, you have to, on some level, could they find where a thesaurus, where a dictionary, where a Encyclopedia Britannica, any of that would be? Because I feel like there's a certain part of it, my daughter now included at the age of 8, where I'm like, she'll throw out some weird fact like, oh, Dad, did you know? And then she'll throw it out. And I'm like, I don't think that's true. I don't believe that's true at all. In fact, I think you're making that up. And she'll go, no. And then she'll go run over to Google to look it up, which is fine because we don't have, a 15-book version of Encyclopedia Britannica someplace in my house. But if I drop them into a library, I don't even think my daughter would have a clue as to what an encyclopedia is.
No, not at all. Although that one is not entirely correct. Google was founded in 1998.
Okay.
So we're a little short.
So with that, let's see, 98 to 2008, 2008 to 2000. Okay, so it's less than 20 years. It's about, 18 years old
we're
or so?
Like 17.
So it's right in there. It's right in that range. It's been
close,
there for that incoming college freshman for
and
most
just
of that time.
for your, just as a little set of information here.
Yeah.
One, you know how difficult it is to Google? I did that. I had to enter it in 3 times before it was like, no, I know.
We're
right
taking
here. You're using Chrome.
It's your
homepage.
homepage. It's your homepage, motherfucker. What are you doing?
What do you want?
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm right here. Just ask me what you want.
Right.
And it has a total net income. What do you want? Net income? You want total assets? You want total equity?
Okay.
They're all in the billion.
Of course.
So it's just really a matter of which they have a revenue of $66 billion.
Wow.
That's what Google has, and they've done it in 16 years.
Wow.
How about that?
Well, congratulations, Google. Listen, they had AOL was there for a majority of them through years. Yahoo technically is still there as well, but nobody uses them, and I don't blame you. But
I mean, isn't it amazing how? I mean, yeah, AOL was there all along, and they just aren't able to morph into these other things.
Yeah.
Like you look at Blockbuster, and yes, there's a service called Blockbuster On Demand.
Yes.
It's right there on my Roku stick.
Yes.
When do I press it?
Never.
When the dog inadvertently steps on it on his way up on the couch.
Again, Gary Goldman on the stand-up yesterday was talking about how he hated Blockbuster and how Blockbuster with their way too high late fees. He said, I went in one time to Blockbuster and was like, listen, I really apologize that this is late. And the guy's like, oh, no problem. We already took care of it. He's like, when here he goes, no, you keep it. Well, what do you mean I keep it? He's like, yeah, we charged you the $88 to your credit card that you had to put down as a deposit. Congratulations, you now own, and then throw a name of shitty movie here. You now own that. Congratulations to you because you got it in so late. Way to go. I completely agree. I mean, they had shitty...
I mean, you have it. You had the entire... And then Redbox came out, and then for a brief time, there were these Blockbuster... stands that were the exact same thing as a Redbox, and it was like, boy, you missed the boat there, sweetheart.
Yeah.
You had the library.
Do you think
you had the technology? You had everything all there, and then you're like, no, you didn't move on that.
The question I've got is, do you think somebody went to them and said, "Listen, I've got this fantastic idea. I know you guys have giant stores, just humongous storefronts in strip malls." In wherever there was the episode of South Park where they were going to buy into a Blockbuster and they realized that nobody was fucking buying anything at Blockbuster anymore. Do you think somebody went to the people at Blockbuster and said, we have this idea. It's like an ATM that you put in a store. You can have all of your movies there. People you don't have to have the square footage of this mammoth square footage. You have zero overhead. You just put your fucking shitty movies that you have, that you call new releases, and put them into this box, and then they can buy it at the store when they're already there. What do you think? And then somebody in Blockbuster's like, you're fucking stupid. Listen, next thing you're going to tell me.
Noise.
Fuck
Get
that.
out.
I don't want any of that shit. What do you mean it comes to my house in a red envelope? Are you insane? What the... That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Where am I going to get money for envelopes? I've got 15 million stores. all with a square footage of over 10,000 square feet for each store. And you get out of here with your box, your fucking box, inconvenience. How dare you? How am I going to collect late fees? Are you insane? You are completely insane.
No, you have the credit card right there. It automatically goes right onto the credit card.
I don't know what I'm not supposed to make you wait right there at the counter waiting to see if somebody's going to return that movie that you're hoping to watch, that new Jack City. You want to see that? You want to see it so bad? Wait. How am I not going to make you wait?
How does somebody rent a PlayStation?
Right. How am I going to give you a shitty VHS player in a gigantic plastic case that you can take with you on your trip so that your kids can watch movies down the road?
We're going to lose all of that money revenue that we get for playing trailers.
Right. How am I going to sell a giant cardboard bowl like you would have in a movie theater with inside with just a bag of popcorn you can microwave? How am I going to sell that to you? If
when
there's a machine?
You go to the movies, how much money they make from their concessions, how are we going to make any money?
How are we going to make any money? How am I going to sell Red Vines to you at a box? How am I going to sell that to you?
You and your box.
You and your fucking, get out of here. Get out of my office with this box. How dare you? Take your box. Go make millions like someplace else. Anyway. Genius. Go find, good luck finding somebody who's like, yeah, let me jump on the box. Let me do that. Insane.
Fucking idiot.
You see my store? Do you see my giant billboard? How dare you? Do you see how many employees I have with with polo shirts? Stop it. How dare you? All right, here, let me see if I'm going to bring up a little stream into my house?
Into my what?
That's like invasion. Are you kidding me?
I love Netflix. Oh, I love Netflix. Chief reason of all, they brought Blockbuster to its knees. Rot in hell, Blockbuster. Rot in hell. Rot in hell, Blockbuster. With your outrageous late fees, your surly sales staff, and your criminally loose definition of new releases. Why is this a new release? Because it's in color? It's Braveheart, God damn it. I didn't even know Mel Gibson hated Jews when this movie came out. Hate Blockbuster. Love to see a Blockbuster that went out of business. It warms my heart. I drive by. You can always tell which store used to be a Blockbuster because it's empty and they've taken the sign down, but it still spells out Blockbuster in filth. They didn't save enough money to power wash the grime that was behind the sign, so it still says, and it's so appropriate. Ugh, rotten hell. First of all, how did they go out of business with my $60,000 in late fees? Would you gamble it away? I hate them. I hate them. Oh, they were such hypocrites. They wouldn't rent you porn, but they would rape you with late fees. They had no problem sodomizing you with late fees. And I can remember bringing in a movie and just being like so embarrassed, like it's been a while. What do I owe you? And the little jerk, he was like, oh no, that's all set. It's like, really? Yeah, keep it. Some sort of amnesty declared or something like that. You want me to keep this? Oh yeah, we already charged $88 to your Visa. You own New Jack City for the rest of your life. Yeah. A movie that you couldn't bring yourself to watch in 6 weeks. Every time you move, you're gonna have to pack up, and that'll be a reminder as to what an irresponsible loser you are. Yeah. You own New Jack City on VHS for the rest of your life.
All right, so there were a couple of really good things from Gary Goldman that I found from watching the comedy last night. You know what I realized, Cos? We don't have time to get to our 3 songs now.
No.
Yeah.
No, we don't.
But we've got an entire show set up for the next podcast, frankly. Oh, that was good times right there. All right, listen, we want you to hit us up with some of the other things that you think freshmen at this point, and maybe even what's going to happen for the next big class of students to come in for the class of 2020, what they've only experienced, what we, on a certain level, take for granted as something that's old, that's been passed up, it's over now, we don't need it anymore. They've only had to experience certain elements of things that relatively soon when they're our age will go, oh God, remember Google? Remember that fucking thing? The way they kept changing up the lettering for some reason, like if it's Groundhog Day, you got to put a groundhog getting into one of the O's like it's his hole in Google. I don't know, why do they keep doing that? They're going to have those things that come along for them as well. Hit us up for some of those at Dad's Home Podcast on Twitter. That's at Dad's Home Podcast on Twitter until we get Yik Yak going.
But we can't tell you
I was
because
gonna
it's
say,
anonymous.
yeah, how do you even know? Like, if we had a Yik
I don't,
Yak,
do
you
you
couldn't
tell
tell
somebody your Yik Yak account? You don't. You
You
just
can't.
because people just talk.
It's anonymous. You're not supposed to be able to do that.
There
So
were other kids at work yesterday. There were other kids who were like, "Oh, this is what people around us are saying about the rain and the lightning." It's like you're fucking reading what strangers are
do you
telling
care
you about
enough
the lightning
that?
that's out the window.
I don't know if I pretty much don't think I care enough about that to really
Don't
go
worry,
like.
I shook my fist for both of us.
I appreciate that. Also, follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dad's Home Podcast. Until next week, for Cause and myself, see ya.